All right, what is going on, everybody? It is the first official recording for the pro analysis for all of you that are going to be tuning in either later, and however whatever ends up happening over the next however long we end up doing this for. I don't know how long it's going to be. It could be 10 years, could be 20 years, could be tomorrow. So, also fair warning, my son's right next to me playing on a game. So hold on. Let me lower it, buddy. Can you lower that volume? Look. All right, so if you hear laughing or him saying, Mommy, Dad, or groceries, or Mommy, I want boob, or any other things of a child making a noise, that is him. So I'm going to get started, and we're going to take a look at some things and see what's available. Now, one thing I want to make aware is we are going back to the initial dashboard here. So we ended up making some internal changes, had some team members that decided to go a different path, and that opened up the door for us to have to go back to this version, but it also opened up a lot of other doors. So we're very excited for us moving forward. If you guys haven't checked out the new dashboard here, or not dashboard, I'm sorry. We have the new Discord. So everything's organized. We have important info, rules, announcements, resources page. For all of you guys that need to get in, make sure you verify yourself by clicking this little check mark. Welcome. This is just welcoming all the people. Dashboard results. You'll see a bunch of pictures here. General chat is the free, so make sure you're all free there. Aligned profits is all profits for the day or week or whatever somebody makes money. These are going to be for the analysis from the ones that I'm doing right now, and whatever I say is bullish or bearish will be here. This is going to be the pro chat for when we all discuss and get everybody, all the pro members that are on the analysis aspect or the armor. So sorter package or the armor package are going to be in here. And then the nightly analysis is going to be where I just post all this, right? That's all going to be here. So this is all brand new. I literally just finished it today. So like most of these are new channels. Nobody's in them yet, but it's going to be really powerful for what we're going to be doing here because you just already know it's a dashboard. It's freaking awesome. So that is distracting me. Okay, here we go. So one thing that I actually got a hold of last night, which it's funny because I always look at these, right? I always look at the regular currencies, and for some reason my eyes took me to the NAS 100. I don't know what happened actually. I'm trying to remember what I did yesterday that brought me to that pair, but I got to the pair, and I was like, this actually looks kind of good. Like looking at the market structure of it, like Jesus, it's smooth, it's clean, and on top of that, it moves in line with the way I trade. It follows the TDI pretty smoothly. It follows price action pretty smoothly. Respects market maker method. It's really cool, and I'm actually going to be taking a further look into this. So I'm going to probably be trading this pair a lot more often. If you actually go look at, I just went like this on like the daily, or like the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily, and I just looked at the structure of how it moves. And if you go look at all the times, like if you see I have these period separators here, this just separates the day. For anybody that trades, you obviously know that that's what that means. So go look at each day, and there's always a specific move that happens like towards London session, but like mainly during New York session. Like the biggest moves here happen New York session, like right before New York session. This was during New York session. All the big moves happen during that time, and it makes sense, right? Because it's the NASDAQ. It's part of the indices of the that is going on in the USA. So it's all positive stuff. It's kind of like US 30. But what I noticed with this is that it moves cleaner than US 30. US 30 is interesting, right? That's not what I wanted to do. Here, I go to US 30. It could have the same type of movements. If I go to the 1 hour, but it's more choppy. And for anybody that like, look at that, that's choppy. You could get in here, that's fine, but something about the NASDAQ has got me like, oh man, like I just want to take a look at this and get the best entries that I can. It's just something different about it. I feel called to it. So That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start my analysis off with this pair to see what we have. And if we look at it from here, it's like got a 3-day peak formation low. That peak formation low was formed down here. So that's where we're at. There has been an overall downward move. There was a big reversal that happened here in the daily. The only thing is I don't see any crazy divergence. So this leads me to believe that this could just be a pullback. So for that case, I'll go to the monthly to see where we're at on the monthly aspect. So it was extremely overbought for a long time, like just riding it up there. And if we see here, look at that. That's been a nonstop bullish move up. So that's cool. But it's looking like it's starting to get some momentum to go back down. Now the month ends in the next week, right? A little over a week. And if it closes like this or lower, this is a solid reversal. And obviously that will set up next month for a push up because it's gonna wick. It wicks every single month, right? Clearly. So that'll give us some momentum to look for sells going forward. So this could actually continue to drop. The RSI and the TDI is showing a continued drop. It's not oversold. There is a shark fin, but that was for the pullback. Right now, it's bouncing off the daily water. It wicked right off of it, wicked off of this trend line. If I go to here, nothing for the daily here. 4 hour, I think there's a 4 hour one. Yeah. So it's in a 4 hour support right now. It came up to 4 hour resistance, and for sure there was 1 hour. Yeah, right here. Is that just the 1 hour? No, that's also a 4 hour. Huh. Not showing it on here. Interesting. Regardless, this is a solid turn point. So I'm gonna see how this ends up. I think this wants to go up a little bit higher. It's not just a wick, right? It doesn't usually just wick. I think we might see some like tweezer tops here or a couple days formation because it doesn't just bounce off the water on the daily and just reverse, right? Look how many times it hit it here, bounced off it, and it took another 2 days for it to go and break through it. So this could be the same thing where it goes up, hits it, and then the next day going to tomorrow, we could see that drop down. So this looks like it's going to be bullish on the night, but ultimately setting up for the sell, right? So I'm going to be paying attention to what it does around this area right now. I got the trend line set. It's breaking through them. So we'll see how this ends up playing out, but ultimately I am setting myself up for a bearish move after it makes this big move, okay? So push up, look for reversal, we'll take that thing down. Now let's go to, and I'll write this down too. So I need to put this up. It'll be bullish, bearish. I'll do mass 100. False move up and drop either today or tomorrow. Okay. Now let's go to the next one. So we got new peak formation high on EURUSD. EURUSD tanked last night. And so did a lot of the euro pairs actually. They all did that. So let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. Oh yeah. Dropped like it was hot. Dropped it like it's hot. It's corny. Okay. Let's see. Got a lot of noise over here. Gotta delete that. Okay. So we knew this was going to be dropping down, right? So we had it break through this water. It's going to make its way down to that daily Mayo and the daily 500 moving average. So anything going up right now is simply just a pullback. This is still going to continue. Now, there really isn't any divergence. There is divergence, but you notice there's not an outstanding shark fin here in the 4 hour. So this, all that tells me is this, that it's going to continue down until it hits that ADR low, AWR. So we'll have some solid moves. only looking for bullish, bearish moves. Anything going up is in fact a stop hunt. So how far? Who knows? It could go right up to here, hit that 50, then drop. I'm probably gonna draw up my fibs real quick. Right? So that fibs, that puts the zone around here. And I'll go to the 15-minute real quick because I want to see. Yeah, so you see this little area of consolidation for a sec? That is the zone. So essentially, we are going to draw up, where's the rectangle? Okay. I'm going to draw from here to there, which puts it right in between the 50 and the 61.8, right? So we have a solid zone. It's right on top of the 15-minute 500 moving average, which if you guys have not been utilizing that is very, very key. Because if you look at last night, I think it was the 30-minute it bounced up. Look at that. Oops. Right off of it to a T. So 500 moving average is pretty stinking solid. And I would love to see it pull back on a 15-minute time frame, maybe a little bit sooner. Who knows? But this is the zone. It's actually funny too, because you see this. This is the zone I had EURUSD going to last week for it to be a sell, which is great because that's exactly what happened. It came up here and hit it to a T and tanked. That means that this was a setup for which one? Here? No, it's too high. Either way, it hit the zone and it bounced off the what? The 500 moving average. It wicked right off of it. So false move up, looking for sells. Keep it simple. I'll put it here so it's not clogging up. Got USD. All right, we got Euro JPY, peak formation high. Oopsies. Okay. Barely use that one anymore. All right, so Euro JPY. Let me go here. Do I have it up already or no? It's like the only one I don't have. Oh, it's right here. Okay. All right. Go to the daily. I need this. So we have peak formation high. It's hard to tell. This isn't a solid peak formation high. Clear reason as because it did take out that low, right? So this could be the peak, but it hasn't broken the low, hasn't broken past this trend line. So I'm gonna be waiting on this. This might continue right back up, honestly. So and let me go back to the daily again just to see because this is still moving. Now there is some regular divergence here. So if this does decide to break through and drop, it's gonna be dropping for a minute. Right? It's gonna drop down to here or at least the water first. So I need to see how it decides to break tonight. This is a continuation pattern here on the monthly. The groceries, see, he wants groceries. Groceries? And then let's go to the weekly. These aren't solid reversal patterns, right? A reversal pattern would be very, very solid. The daily looks better, but at the same time, I've seen way better. Like this is not a reversal. This is if it drops, I guess on a smaller time frame, it could be considered a reversal, but in my opinion, that's still like a pullback. So this is just a pullback peak. This could be setting up for a ranging peak because it has been at the high for a minute now, but just got to be careful. Don't just try to take it for a sell because it says peak formation high. Do your due diligence. And right now, if you're following my analysis, it's kind of like this pair is like, so I'm going to hold off on this one for a minute until I see some other things happen. All right, let's go to, oh, by the way, that's probably, I should have mentioned this. At 3:15 Eastern Standard Time in the morning. So hours from now, about 5 hours from now. we have Euro news, and then 3:30 Euro news, 4 o'clock Euro news again. Literally from 3:15 up until 4:30, we have news the entire time. I can't give you this banana. Ask mommy for help. Mommy can open it. And then you have cat news at 8:30, 9:45 USD news. So we got a busy day tomorrow for some of these pairs, and if it's strong enough, it'll mess with all the currencies. So just be careful, and wait, see what you want to do. Now let me go back to this, and that might actually set up Euro JPY, because so I would say let's see what happens moving forward with that pair. And if it happens to push up, then you know the direction. That could be maybe the institutional candle, and then it stop hunts and then drops, or it's going to make its way out there, in which case you still don't want to touch it for a buy. You want to wait. So we're going to have more clarity when that happens tomorrow. So NZDJPY, just looking at this pair, I don't really care to touch it. Let me see what we're looking at on FinViz. I want to see the strength of the currencies real quick. Sometimes it takes a minute to load. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we got AUD is very powerful right now. So that if that's super bullish, that means we can be looking at the AUD pairs, and it will probably be a lot of movement, right? So I'll just pick like here. So you gotta see AUD. What's it doing? Look at that. Big momentum push. But it's not on the list yet, so I'm not gonna touch it. Go back to NZDJPY. I didn't even pull it up yet. Oh, that's right. I don't know if I'm gonna actually trade this pair. It's too choppy. There's nothing solid on it. It's stuck in between the EMAs, so I'm not gonna touch this pair. I'm gonna leave this one alone. Now let's go to all right, GBPNZD. Oh, look at that. That is perfect, man. Okay, let's take a look at this. This might be really good for us. Hey, babe, take a look at GBPNZD. So I'm gonna wait for a pullback up, and this is great. So now that it's broke this structure and this structure, it's hitting on the 200 moving average. The only thing left to do is wait for a pullback, right? So I'm on the 1 hour. Ideally, I'm going to wait for it to pull back to the 50 EMA. If I go to the 4 hour, it's hitting that the water right now. So you got to be careful here, because I mean, here it's not going to just go right here and just tank. It doesn't tend to do that. What it will do is consolidate on it for a couple hours, maybe more, then shoot up and then drop back down. So don't rush this. We still have time for the setup. Now let me just go to the higher time frames real quick, because I looked at this same exact thing on the JPY pairs, and I missed the overall aspect of what they were trying to do in a higher time frame. So like here in the monthly looks like it still wants to push up, right? So these reversals, this push down might actually be the drop. So as in like a pullback. Now we still have a week left, and that monthly close is like the way it is. This actually could set up for a reversal, because it is outside of the volatility bands. It could drop, but it's hitting up zones that it hasn't reached in a while. There's nothing saying there's a major reversal happening on the weekly, clearly, because it's the weekly. So this, in my mind, is just a pullback. All right. So if this is a pullback, we have a shark fin overbought over on the daily confirmation, more for a sell. 4 hour. Come on. 4 hours hitting the water right now. So we definitely want to wait for a pullback up. It's outside of the volatility band. It's hitting the 50 right now. So yeah, let's just wait. This is going to be a trade where you can take it right back down to the recent low. I see some divergence. Shark fin oversold. So ideally, let's go to the 15-minute. This is what you're looking for. You're looking for a stop hunt high, drop. All right. So we have a couple zones that we could draw up. Let me go to the 1 hour. Let's draw up our zone here. There's probably a better one on the 4. Nope. The daily. Nope. So we got to stick more to the 4 hour or the 1 hour, excuse me. That is our friend for tonight. This is inside of an imbalance, so that's good. Right. So we have an imbalance up here. And if we're taking this for a drop, most likely we'll, and I'll do a couple areas of the fibs. Right. So the 50 from the top to the where it's at right now, the 1 hour resistance zone, the imbalance, and the 50 and the 61.8 retracement zones are all located in this exact spot, which gives me very good confidence that if it hits there, if it decides to shoot up to there tonight, my gosh, guys, that is like, that's sell central. Okay. Let's see if there's anything on the 4 hour. Look at that. 4 hour imbalance. So now you guys have it. GBPNZD, you're waiting for a stop hunt high into this zone, and we know GBP pairs, they never just go up and wick on these EMAs and then drop. They just don't do it. Like, it's probably not even going to do it here. It might actually shoot down a little farther and then shoot up. So we want to see it push up into this area. Once it hits that area, we'll look for a sell zone and take a sell. Now, let me see. I'm going to draw up this trend line real quick. Might actually break this trend line liquidity real quick, wick, and then drop. So this might be a fast drop if we do it correctly. And I don't think this is right when I built it. So, okay. All right. So now we got our zone. We're just waiting for it. This is gonna be great. GBPNZD. I like it. Let's keep a close eye on it. Okay. EURCHF. EURCHF hit a significant level last night. This. I didn't end up grabbing it, but it's been respecting this trend line. So you got the top here. 1, 2, 3. Did it hit this spot? No, 4. So that's a big move. It's still kind of consolidating a bit. It's not my favorite setup right now, but it is also consolidating inside of this triangle right here. So you got the push here, you got the push here. If this ends up being that move, then you guys have a lot of area for this to drop back down, right? So, but it hasn't broke. It has not broke. This could go easily right back here and ride this trend line and then drop. So be patient with this. Like I said, it's the EMAs are tight. It just broke here, but it didn't break here. I need to see something happen. Now, I mean, overall though, if this trend line is as powerful as it seems, then it makes sense for you to wait for a stop hunt high to fill in this gap, because look how big this drop is. When they make a big drop like that, they always fill it. So they're gonna fill it up. When they fill it, you can look for that drop. All right. So you got these imbalances, you have a 4 hour major imbalance, which is too big. But if we go here, you have those resistance zones. You have the one up here, which also can make sense. This one looks really solid right in the middle here. So, and it's on top of a solid resistance line. So let's just see how it ends up playing out. But this makes the most sense overall. And then once it hits there, you can look for a sell. But I'm not writing it down just for the fact that it's still super choppy. Now let's go to EUROCAD or EUROCHF. I'm sorry. Let's see. I'm not sure about this one if I want to touch it or not. Been riding in the middle of a trend line. It's really at a low. This isn't the setup. And what's it for? Peak formation high 2 days ago, 1, 2. I mean, it still has to drop. So there's that. I would have said it's setting up for a reversal, but it's not. So I would say just continue with the overall drops. This isn't going to stop. The monthly shows it going to actually break this low and most likely create new lows, just like cheap JPY. It's probably just the cheap pairs, honestly. The weekly. Yeah, just look for sells. We're bearish overall. The best bet is to look for just solid sells. And I'll write that down here. Oops. Um, okay. EURNZD. This one's kind of reminding me of GBPNZD if you take a look. So it's definitely the NZD pairs. Yep. Drop. Same thing. So we got some solid setups for the NZD pairs. It's breaking structure as we speak. It's the same thing. Stop on high, wait for a stop on high drop. Don't need this. Okay. Now monthly looks like it's going to continue just like GBPNZD. So these are just pullbacks, guys. Like, so I wouldn't ride these all the way down. I mean, they could drop significantly. I mean, you got up for EURONZD, you have to here, right? And then if I go back to GBPNZD, if you go back to the daily here, you got back down there. So these could reverse hard, but just got to be careful because these aren't big reversals. These are pullbacks. All right. So I'm going to say we're bearish on EURNZD tonight, but overall, look for that push up. All right. Overall, look for that push up. So EURNZD. NZD Chief is going to go up because all the NZD pairs are dropping on this one. So, oh yeah, this one looks juicy. Let's see. So this one hasn't fully broke. It did break this one, right? So we could say, yep, this is reversal. But just based on how all the other NZD pairs are going, I'd say this one's got a solid setup because it did break a recent low from here. Now I'm just trying to see if I zoom out a bit if there's any more. Nope. So NZD Chief is officially at a lower low, the lowest low on at least trading views of recorded history, and it did it this month. I don't think I've traded NZD Chief this month. So this thing is not gonna stop. It's due for a pullback. This is all just pullbacks, guys. Let's see. Redraw this line. Let's see. There. Boom. All right. So that kind of lines up with the 500 moving average, which is cool. Gives me hope that this thing could actually reverse a little bit farther. But ultimately, I think it's going to push up to here, which lines up with the 200 moving average. So it's not going to hit the line directly and just come back down, but it will probably go up a little bit higher, maybe about here. This base looks good too. And look for that drop back down. So we're bullish on this. This is setting up nicely for a reversal. And yeah, let's just see what happens. I mean, ultimately, I would want to see it push up a little farther before I get in. If it pushes up here and breaks here, then for sure we're in for a buy. The best option after that would be for a pullback, continuation up, right? So look for bullishness, look for it to push up, break, and then pull back, and you can enter in on that pullback and ride that thing up. So let's put up here the first bullish pair of the night, NZDCHF. All right. Let's see, AUD, too choppy for me. It's in the middle. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it wants to continue up. And on top of that too, AUD is super bullish. So at least that's what this says. Let's see where it's at now. 32. Same thing. Okay, so if this is bullish, AUDJPY, then this is going to consolidate. So I don't see this pair really doing anything tonight. This could actually just do this before it decides to move up. So I'm not going to touch this pair. But I would say it looks good for buyish and bullish. But again, I'm not touching it. All right, let's go to the next one. JPY. All right. Let me see. All right, so I have this Fibonacci up, and right now it's bouncing off this 61.8, but it's also, it hasn't broke it yet. So if I was in on a buy, this would be it. So a lot of the JPY pairs, we thought this was the reversal, but it came back up, retested the high pretty much, and then started rejecting again. But I think when I said in the Discord that we were overall bullish because I didn't look at the higher time frames, but seeing how this candle formation is, like that's not a reversal candle, at least not yet. And there's no divergence, but that is overbought for sure. So this could drop, it could rise. Weekly. Not my favorite setup. Looks like it's just gonna get stuck in consolidation. I mean, if it's gonna follow this fib, then we would see this most likely shoot up to here tonight. Probably retest that trend line again. So that would be good. I guess it's just a matter of patience. I don't think we should take this. Something going on with the JPY pairs. It does look like a W here though. That's a W. All right. So if it does decide to make a move up, and it'll be because of that reason, but no promises. This is not the best setup. So moving forward. S&P. I didn't trade this pair yet, but I can trade it. Just haven't looked at it. So SPX 500. Hitting off that daily wick here. I think that's the same thing that the NASDAQ is doing. It did wick. So it looks like it's going to follow suit with it. So I probably imagine the shoot up more because this is not a reversal. It's just pairs don't do that. Who knows? I could be wrong, but at least from what I've seen, that's not a reversal yet. It broke structure down to the low here, but it's still not solid. I think we're going to see a bigger push up first, and then we'll ultimately see it drop. Just like the NAS. Push up. Maybe this was the push up, or it's too soon. Who knows? And then I'll be looking for the overall drop. So that's what I'm going to say. S&P 500 is still an overall drop, but I would say wait for it to go and retest the high again, and then from there we can look for those sells. So I'm going to say S&P is the same thing as here. I'll just do this. Now let's go here. Look at these ones. I'm going to do the other 4 check marks, and then I'll be done for the night because we already got some solid setups. But EURAUD, that looks like a nice little setup. It broke structure. Needs to pull back. Let's take a look at the overall time frames here so I don't screw myself. Definitely looks like it wants to continue on the monthly. So be careful of that. This drop is just a pullback. It did make a new high. Every time it makes a new high, it's got to pull back. So don't get excited over a massive reversal. I mean, it's testing this 13 EMA right now. It could easily just do what it did here where it wicks off of it and continues. So just be careful. That's a big drop. So I would say that we're more bullish on the night. I don't think it's going to reverse to go up yet or to drop. I think it needs to pull back first. So I'm going to say, what do I have for the, do I have any other AUD pairs? Nothing yet. So then it makes sense. I would say wait for a pullback, look for it to push up tonight. It could drop back down if it hits a certain level, but I'm not sure. So here's the retest area. Just that line. So our best bet is if this is going to retest for this to happen. Push up. Maybe tomorrow or the next day, we'll see it come back down. So don't rush into it. And then we'll look for the bearishness. So I'm gonna put this in. Ready? I'm gonna do EURAUD parentheses. Okay. So we'll have that there. Well, this one looks good too. AUDCAD. Let's see. Um, although EURAUD I had bullish, this could actually push down. So just be careful with EURAUD. This may have been the actual move where it decides to drop, but I'm just letting you know now. Okay, so AUDCAD definitely looks good for a push up, but I've also seen positions of this where it does and then drops. So you just gotta be careful. See the monthly. The monthly threw a bunch of wicks the last 2 months to the upside and came right back down. This looks like it wants to break through. I mean, look at that. It's already breaking through. So this is the same thing as Euro AUD, guys. It's a pullback. This move up is just a pullback. So you're overall gonna want to look for sells. But tonight, and I mean this like the same thing as Euro AUD, tonight you may want to be looking for a bullish move and then have it drop overall. So I'm gonna put here looking to break. Pullback. All right, now we have one more. This is what it's gonna look like. Same thing as all the other ones. This one already broke though, so take a look at this monthly. Yeah, I was saying this needed to continue down to at least this low. This thing's gonna continue to drop. Anything going up is a pullback. Is a pullback. And I'm gonna line it up with the daily because I think it's gonna come back up to here where I have this line and it's gonna hit that 13 moving average. So this could actually do something like this where it goes up and continues. Now, if it does break up to here, then we could see it drop or rise. But if it, I don't know, you got to be careful. I would say wait for this to do something around here. And if it starts to show, if it doesn't just reverse here in the next 2 days to go up, then it's setting up for a drop. All right. So don't get your hopes up. I would say focus on the daily and what it's doing there. And then we'll be able to know exactly how to go about doing this. Let me see with the 4 hour with the trend line. That's a trend line. This one is too. That's hitting there. So now this one makes more sense. So if it pushes up to there on the daily, Look at that. That'll just be a typical hit on the catch up here. And it'll just be that sudden move up here. So I would say that's where we're looking for it to go to. But overall, we're bearish. All right. So we're bearish, we're bearish, we're bearish. Where the heck is my thing? Oh. AUDCHF. And do the same thing. Damn it. Can't type today. Down. Okay. So that's what we're looking at for tonight, guys. Just be careful of the last few pairs I went over because all these big reversals are just pullbacks. GBPNZD, EURONZD, mainly all the AUD pairs. Like I said, I'm going to be focusing on the NASDAQ for sure. Definitely not US30. Maybe I'll focus on S&P. Let's see. EURUSD looks good for a pullback. Look for that to pull up to this zone and drop. Not really sure about EUROJPY, NZDJPY. GBPNZD looks really good for a pullback to the upside, and then we can get it on the sell. It's the same thing though. It's just a pullback on the overall time frame, so don't get too caught up in it dropping way too far. Let's look for it to drop or push up to here, and then we'll see what happens. EuroCAD, kind of choppy. EUROCHF, not really there. EURNZD, same thing as GBPNZD. Look for a pullback, and we can take it to the low that it's forming now. NZDCHF, pullback. So all these quote unquote reversals, guys, are all just pullbacks, but it's a reversal on the day or the week. So just know that on a higher time frame, these things will continue in the direction that they are going against for reversing. So thanks for hopping on. We're going to be doing more of these. I'll show you guys the results of what happens tomorrow and see what ended up happening. So peace out.